and welcome to Getting Hired Presents Pride in Action. My name is Amanda Burke, and I am the head of Getting Hired. I am a 30-something Black biracial woman who uses the pronouns she and her. I have tan or light skin. I have brown curly wavy hair right now. I have a white flower that's competing with my background, so I promise there's hair there. I have hazel eyes. I'm currently wearing a green shirt with a navy blazer, and I have on mixed metal accessories. Getting Hired's In Action series is one of my favorite series that we offer or that we are able to put on. It is a roundtable discussion and panel where inclusive employers and community members, like our individuals today, Aston Carter, AGS, Allegis Group, Actilent, and Prudential, we give them the space to highlight what actions they're taking to support and optimize the success of diverse identities and diverse abilities in the workplace. But before we get started, I truly want to thank everybody for taking the time to be a part of this conversation and to be here today or watching it after the fact. We're grateful that you're part of Getting Hired's community or that you're interested in our community. We have our community partners such as Ruth Ellis Center with us today, which we are always looking to continue to work with organizations that are truly doing the work to impact the communities that we are looking to impact as well. Or if you're an inclusive partner or team member that is here to hype up one of the individuals on the panel, or if you're an individual looking for a new career field or a new opportunity, maybe not now, but in the future, this is definitely a time to be able to get new information, new tools and resources and best practices to further your inclusivity efforts, no matter where you are in your journey. Before I pass it over to our amazing moderator for the second time, because this is our second Pride in Action series, Chris Ware was here before last year. If you've ever attended that last year, there are a few houses to talk about. We do have closed captioning enabled. So if you'd like to turn them on, you can do so by clicking on the More button at the bottom right of your screen. Then you can click Captions and then Show Captions to turn them on. We will be staying on the line for about, I'd say 5 to 15 minutes after our conversation for a Q&A session. We will be doing our best to answer the questions as you put them in to our chat. We are all on a continued journey of inclusivity and inclusive language. With that being said, we will be very mindful of the way that we are utilizing our language as we engage today. But you may hear individuals describing things in new ways. They may be slightly modified to the way that you've heard them or understood them in the past. And honestly, they might be juxtaposed to the way that you've seen things or considered things in the past. My ask is that this conversation truly is rooted in a place of pride and a place of positivity. And the hope is that we encourage self-correction and we encourage positive ways to be able to give options to other people to be able to explain things. Because again, all of us, including myself, are on a continued and ever-evolving journey of inclusivity. So, got your ear already for such a long period of time. It is my absolute pleasure to be able to introduce one of the most amazing partners I've had over the course of a decade, Ms. Chris Ware. She's a part of her local community. She's in Detroit, Michigan. She does so much for so many intersections of identities. And I know that she's going to be sharing lots of things about herself. I won't take her thunder, but please take it away, MC Chris Ware.
Yes, thank you, Amanda. Amazing. And Getting Hired. Thank you for having me again. I'm so excited to be here with this amazing group of panelists. I cannot wait for you all to hear their stories and their journeys. And we're going to go down a journey today, y'all. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have some good conversation. I love the different perspectives and the different areas in which people will be speaking from. So super excited. So again, good afternoon. Welcome everybody to this year's Pride in Action. It's finally here. So I'm excited to be your MC. My name is Christina Ware. I go by Chris, so please call me Chris. If you call me Christina, I feel like I'm in trouble. So it's got to be Chris. So as Amanda stated, I'm in Detroit, Michigan. I'm a government solutions executive with Aston Carter. Also a member on our executive DEI council here. Also the co-chair for one of our employee resource groups, Diverse Genders and Sexualities. So I've been with the Allegis organization for over 12 years. I've had a crazy wild ride. And it's been super exciting to be a part of this team. I'm a 30-something-year-old lesbian woman who uses the pronouns she, her, hers. I'm Black, and I I guess I'm more like a milk chocolate complexion here. And I got short brown curly hair. Some people call it a fro hawk. Depends on which you like. And let's see, I have brown eyes and I'm wearing a yellow polo today. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it on to my amazing panelists to get started, to introduce themselves. So I'll go over to Carla.
Fantastic. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, folks, wherever you're watching in from. My name is Carla Johnson. I work for Allegis Corporate Services under the Allegis umbrella. I am a 40-something African-American woman with short, I think it's black hair. The actual dye worked this time, so none of the grays are showing. I have on a red blazer with 2 lapel pins and a flower printed red shirt. My pronouns are she, her, and happy Pride. Chris?
All right. Appreciate you, Carla. Let's go to Tommy.
Thank you, Chris. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tommy Moody. I am here representing Prudential. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am a 40-something Caucasian male. I have salt and pepper facial hair, mostly beard. I wear glasses and I have a shaved head. Currently wearing a purple Pride hoodie with my rainbow Prudential pen and one of our Prudential Pride purple t-shirts. Very, very, very happy to be here. I represent our Pride Business Resource Group. I am on the executive board and have been since 1999. My current role on the board is our co-chair of our corporate social responsibility area of that platform. So very happy to be here. And with that, I'll pass it back to Chris. Thank you.
Fantastic. Glad to have you here. Let's go to JB.
Hi, everyone. I am JB. I am a non-binary individual. I use the pronouns they, them, and I am representing Aston Carter along with C. Ware on this call. I've been with Aston Carter for about 4 years. I'm a practice lead, so I run a team in the West region. I am also on the board of our ERG, Diverse Genders and Sexualities. I am the coordinator. I am wearing a blue polo with our DGS logo on it. I have glasses, fair tan skin with also some dark brown features in my eyes and my hair. Happy to be here, everyone.
Thank you, JB. So happy to have you here. Let's go to Josh Swaney.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Josh Swain. My pronouns are he, him, and today I'm representing Allegis Global Solutions along with Mandy on the call. I'm a learning and development program manager within our people strategy team, and I'm also a member of our Spectrum ERG, which is our LGBTQA plus group of wonderful and fabulous folks. I am the G, the OG, and the LGBTQI plus acronym. I have tan skin, I have beard, a little bit of salt and pepper. So unlike Carla, my dye did not work. So you're stuck with this today. I'm wearing a white t-shirt that says Unstoppable. And that is from Out and Equal Workplace Advocates, which is the largest LGBTQIA, I'll get it right one day, affirming HR conference in the nation. So with that, I'll put myself back on and I'll sit over to Chris.
The OG. Okay, I appreciate you. Let me tell you something. I didn't acknowledge my salt and pepper either. I got a little salt and pepper as well. So, you know, we're going to rock it proudly, okay? Carla,
Absolutely.
I appreciate you with the dye, though. You know, you're looking good, too.
Mine's more salt than pepper, but it's all good.
Let's kick it over to Mandy. Mandy, come up to the stage.
Hey, everybody. I am a 44-year-old cisgendered woman. Pronouns are she, her, hers. I identify as pansexual, panromantic. I am engaged to my fiance, Angela. We're getting married this November. I have a very pale complexion with freckles, dark eyes, dark asymmetrical haircut that is all salt at the root line because my girl canceled on me this last weekend. I'm wearing an olive shirt with a brown cardigan, gold jewelry, black glasses. I'm located in Peoria, Illinois, and I have been with Allegis Global Solutions for 2 years as a program specialist. And I became a member of the leadership committee with our ERG spectrum. Pretty much as soon as I was able, I became a member pretty much as soon as I joined the company, joined the leadership team that January, and now I am a committee member on the board that was developed starting 2023.
That is fantastic. Thank you for joining us today, Mandy. We really appreciate you being here. Congratulations on the engagement. Can't wait to hear about this wedding. Let's kick it over to Jay Stevenson. Let's go. Ruth Ellis, another Detroiter in the house. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody. Can y'all hear me? Just a thumbs up so I can make sure. Awesome. Yep. So my name is Jay Stevenson. I am a Black, queer, non-binary person in their late 20s. I am the program manager for our LGBTQ youth education and pathway program, linking youth to career opportunities at the Ruth Ellis Center located in Highland Park, Michigan. I am wearing a Black hoodie that features our amazing Ruth Ellis. So if you've ever come to any of our events or signed up to be a donor, you can copy one. I am also wearing black and silver glasses, black and gray hat as well. So I am definitely excited to be here. I use they, them pronouns. So yes, and I'm gonna kick it back to Chris.
We're so excited to have you here and a part of this panel discussion, Jay Stevenson, especially from the perspective of, the community and what you all are doing with the youth. And I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later, and I'm so excited for people to hear about, just how they can get involved outside and beyond, participating today. So thank you for being here with us. Super excited to have you here. Michael, let's go. You're the last one. We're excited to have you.
I'm excited too. Thanks, Chris. Hi, everybody. My name is Michael Gass. I am a recruiting manager with Actilent. I live and work out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I think I'm the only Canadian one here. So I'm really excited. I am a cis gay male. My pronouns are he, him, his. Today I'm wearing my best rainbow shirt. I've got my nails painted a beautiful red. I'm white. I've got a big fluffy mustache, and I'm in my late 20s, and my hair is thinning much quicker than I ever thought it would, but I'm coming to terms with it. Yeah, that's all I got. Thanks, Chris. Back to you.
Yes, appreciate it. So let's give a round of applause, virtual applause, for our amazing panelists. Super excited for all of you today. So let's just jump right on into it, right? So, we've got a lot of good representation from, a lot of different organizations. Let's talk about the employee resource groups or the business resource groups. I'll start with Carla and we can go around from there, but what is the name of your specific, either employee resource group or business resource group that you all have, and how many members, who can participate? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So at ACS, we have 6 different ERGs. We do identify them as employee resource groups, and they range from LGBT, which is PRISM, BOLD is for our African American vets, or for former vets, or we even opened it up to first responders. We have Asian Pacific Islander, we have Women's Impact Network, and the Parent Collective. And here at ACS, anybody could join. I believe it was Mandy talked about joining the ERG right when she started. And so a part of my role at ACS, being the diversity and inclusion manager, is to go into our new hire orientation and introduce our employee resource groups to all of our incoming candidates. And we have our intranet, you can find us as well. So that's what we're doing here in ACS.
Question for you, Carla, because you have you have an interesting role when it comes to the ERGs. How do you feel, why do you feel that an ERG is important? Do you feel like it's being inclusive to other employees? I guess your employees over there at Legis, is it making some good headway? Having these small pockets where they can, communicate with each other. How does that look for you?
Absolutely. It's a great question. And yes, I think ERGs are a way that people can get introduced to other cultures and groups. And here at ACS, so we're in Pride Month, right? So I will talk about PRISM. And PRISM within ACS, we have more allies a part of this resource group than we do folks living as queer folks. So it is, I've been in this role for a few months now, and what I've tried to instill within our leads is that camaraderie, is we can partner with the vets and bold. We can partner with, I know I'm going to get into a little bit of my answer about what we're doing, but here for Juneteenth, we Bold and PRISM partnered over here at ACS to hold a Juneteenth event during Pride Month. And so everybody can lean in and learn from anyone. I think Amanda started us off with a continued journey. And so that's what we're doing here at ACS. We are just continuing the journey. And as folks come in with feeling like they're marginalized or ostracized, they get to talk to me about how we can ensure they are included.
That's fantastic, honestly. I love to hear that partnership for Juneteenth, and more to come from that, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Tommy, I'm going to swing it over to you. What are, what's same thing? What's the name of the ERG over at Prudential? How many members and who can participate?
Sure. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Again, very happy to be here representing Prudential. Our employee resource group, which we call business resource groups or BRGs, we have 8 of them, Pride being the original and first. We are celebrating our 30th anniversary this year, established in 1993. I started with the company in 96. Our BRG is one of the largest. We're currently about 1,100 members globally. So that is very exciting to see that growth, because when I first started with Prudential and with the organization and with Pride, it was probably a few hundred members. So to see that growth has been amazing. As I mentioned, we are one of 8 business resource groups. One of the other ones that we have recently collaborated with during Pride Month is called Generations. We established that business resource group because we felt there was a really important aspect that we were missing that we really wanted to be inclusive of and sensitive to, and that is the difference among the different generations in our workplace and in our lives. And we had a collaboration event with Generations during Pride Month that really explored the intersectionality between the LGBTQ plus community and the generations, how we communicate, how we commingle, how we interact, differences, likes, and so forth. It's great to see the business resource grow. Like I said, we're 8 strong right now. I'm a member of all 8, so I stay pretty busy with meetings and participation in volunteer events. But yeah, I'm actually out of our Jacksonville, Florida site, so I'm in North Florida, but we have sites all over the world. So that's very exciting as we approach more of a global footprint with Prudential. So with that, I'll pass it back to Chris.
That's amazing. And the fact that you're a part of 8, first of all, kudos to you, because I'm having a hard time staying a part of 1. Okay, so
I can't say how active I am in each one, but I do try to attend meetings, and I do try to take part when I can and be active when I can. I'm most active in just a few, which is our VetNet, which I believe Carla spoke to having vets. Ours is called VetNet. And we collaborate with them a lot on what are called table talks, where we create a panel discussion, a safe space, where we collaborate with VetNet and Pride, where we create this conversation where we can just share, and the focuses are, sensitivity to our LGBTQ plus community, what we're going through, what we're facing from a mental health standpoint, a professional network standpoint, but pairing that with what our veterans and members of our VetNet organization are going through in similar fashion, because there's a lot that they face, and their suicide statistic is just way too high. So the table talks create a safe space for us to talk through our mental health challenges, create awareness, and collaborate, and just make sure we're growing that intersectionality across the BRGs.
Yes, no, that's great. And when we're talking about intersectionality, you're doing it, right? You're a part of 8, and you can integrate different things from each one of those to help with that. So I mean, again, kudos to you for doing that, and I look forward to hearing more about that on this call today. JB, I'm going to kick it over to you. Let's go
with it.
Okay, let's go.
Well, I represent Aston Carter. To get a little bit in the know of Aston Carter, we were part of Aerotech and the Legis group. Around 2020, we split up into different opcos. So Aerotech, Aston Carter, Actilent. So hearing how long all your resource groups have been going is amazing. Ours started in 2021. So altogether within Aston Carter, there are only 4 current employee resource groups, so ERGs. We have the Women's Resource Group, we have Bridge, which is for our BIPOC community, we have our Service to Solvers, which is for our service community, and then we have DGS, Diverse Genders and Sexualities, which is for our LGBTQIA+ community. We are not open to allies yet. One of the most impactful moments of my whole career and time being on DGS was actually our first meeting when someone put in the chat, I can't talk too loud because I'm working from home today, I'm not out to my family. And since that moment, we became very protective of our ERG and want to create the safe space for individuals. And we're just not to the tenure yet to where we're ready to navigate that allyship. So as of right now, we only have 54 active members, but our main goal is just to engage and amplify the queer voices within Aston Carter. That's why we're called Diverse Genders and Sexualities. As I said, the acronym LGBTQIA+, at the end, there's a plus sign, and we didn't want to minimize someone to a plus sign who didn't fit into that acronym. So we came up with the name Diverse Genders and Diverse Sexualities, right? Wherever you feel that you fit within that queer spectrum, you belong here with us. And so that's what we're doing out here in Aston Carter.
Absolutely, and that's on the board with JB, and it's been amazing to work with them. And just, I was on that same call, and I think that was an eye-opener for me as well. When we were on the call and this individual could not physically speak, we were going around the horn and we were talking about, our coming out story. And we wanted to, build some community, some sense of community, because at the time we were small but mighty. I want to say there was probably only like 15 of us. And to have witnessed somebody, this was during COVID too, witness somebody really struggle to, communicate, hey, this is who I am, but they can't talk too loud because their parents were in the next room. That was really something. And it's like, okay, hey, this is why we're doing this. We're building a sense of community because we want you to be able to come, and talk to us and know that you have other people that are like you that have gone through those things, and potentially we could even help you through some of those things, right? So, yeah, I love our ERG. So JB, thank you for doing a great job of representing who we are and what we're doing. Mandy, I know that you're with AGS, so what I'll do is Mandy and Josh, if you all want to tag team what you all are doing, or who wants to take it on?
I think the ball's in my court, so I'll give a little bit of background. I believe, so our ERG is one of 10 in North America. I'm with Allegiance Global Solutions, and so there is a spectrum branch for EMEA and for APAC. And so we definitely will try to communicate with each other and share resources, but I'm just speaking for the North America group. We right now, I think, have about 150 total members. And the group started, and again, I keep saying I think because I'm not 100%, but I believe 2017. And it was started by a group of allies, actually, kind of the reverse of what JB shared. They saw the need for representation. There were some really strong fighters in the group. Some of them are still involved, so I can say that from personal experience. And so they kind of paved the way. We started with a committee type leadership team, which is what I was part of last year. And then this year, we actually were able to get a board developed with specific roles assigned. And I feel like that has been a really, really positive direction for us to go, as far as not just distinguishing who is kind of heading the charge in different things, but also really presenting a diverse group of voices when we do meet to discuss things, because we all kind of know what we are representing when we're there. I can say that now the board member or the majority of the board is made up of LGBTQ plus people. I'm very much a believer that allies are a vital part of our fight, but also understand that sometimes our safe spaces need to be a little more insulated. So for our personal group, it is open to everybody. We do have a lot of allies within that membership. And I think that pretty much covers it. Did I miss anything?
Nope, you did great.
Okay. Nope. That's as brief as I can be.
Yep, nope, you did great. So, okay, I'm gonna hit this last one, and then we're gonna move into the next couple of questions here. Michael from Excellent, what are you all doing?
Yeah, so very similar to some of the things that JB was saying. Actalent also was born in that business split that happened with Aerotech in 2021. And shortly after Actalent was born, our ERGs were born. We currently have 4 at Actalent, and the one that represents the 2S LGBTQIA plus community is called the Pride ERG. I've been a member of Pride since it started, but just actually at the start of this month assumed the co-chair position. Our ERG, thank you, is only open to members of the LGBTQ plus community at this moment. Similar to some of the things JB was saying, we're just not quite at the point where we're able to integrate allies without putting at risk some of the people in the community who potentially aren't out at work or at home or otherwise. That being said, we have started an ally community so that we're able to communicate with our allies, but at this current moment, they're kept separate. We have about 60 members in our ERG right now, and our 3 pillars that we work against are community, leadership and development, and allyship. Thanks, Chris.
All right, appreciate it. So, I'm going to do a spin real quick. So Jay Stevenson is here, right, from Ruth Ellis Center. And I'm not sure if you all have employee resource groups or not, but I think it's something still to talk about in regards to, what your organization actually is, how it plays a part, why you're here today. Can you talk a little bit about what the Ruth Ellis Center is doing in Detroit and how you all are making impacts and how there is some intersectionality with what we're talking about today as it pertains to employee resource groups, with whether that's the LGBTQ plus or whether that's with, Black and Brown communities, so on and so forth. There's a whole host of things there. Can you give us a little bit of something, Jay? And tell us about Ruth Ellis.
Yeah, no problem. So yes, if you haven't heard, Ruth Ellis was a phenomenal LGBTQ icon who moved to the city of Detroit around the late 60s. She opened up her home to LGBTQ young adults. It became a social space. She also was one of the first Black women to create her own business, which was printing press at the time. And then since then, we've expanded, right? So we are named after her mission and her work. We have a couple of different things that we offer. We offer services to support LGBTQ youth and their families. That means free health, gender affirming health care that they can come into our center and get primary care, figure out what it looks like to start HRT, be able to have providers that understand like, hey, yeah, I identify this way, but I may need a pap smear, or hey, I may need to navigate waters and need more information around different things. We also have integrated healthcare where folks can come in and get therapy for both their families as they're navigating what does it look like to accept and support our young people as they're navigating these experiences and coming out to their family members, as well as individual therapy, because life is hard for everybody. And I know I'm in therapy, so even our young people get access to that as well. We've also expanded those services to make sure that we provide support services that cover basic needs. Our young people can come into the drop-in center, shower, get food from the food pantry, get affirming clothing from the clothing closet, wash their clothes, also be able to socialize and build community with different programming that we offer here, as well as housing, right? As we know, our young people face a number of different issues. 1 in 5 LGBTQ youth are experiencing homelessness, have had to run away, or were kicked out by their family members. And so what does that mean? It means that they are often having to sleep at park benches, figure out where to go, where they're going to get a warm meal, maybe having to engage in survival work just to be able to make ends meet. And so we have a housing unit recently opened up with a 43-unit apartment where young people can come in. It is fully furnished. It is free. Where they can live there and be able to get on their feet and support. And we provide case management for them. That way, after they've kind of gotten themselves together, they can now have permanent housing that they hopefully can cover themselves, right? And so the really major part about all of that is recognizing that our young people need support, not just in services, but how they build their lives. And so the amazing thing that we offer now, launching this July, is our LGBTQ education and employee pathway program. So one of our ERGs that we have here with our LGBTQ youth employees is called Legacy, because we are the legacy of Ruth Ellis Center. And so we have that on all of our things, just to let folks know that the work that we're doing here is for both for ourselves as well as for the next generation. So we are a part of that legacy. And within that is making sure that our young people have the opportunity to participate in Ruth Ellis Center employee opportunities. And so we're training them with personal development, professional development skill sets. We're partnering them with LGBTQ mentors who have done this, right? We've navigated careers. We've navigated things like trying to come out to your employees, your colleagues, what that looks like, what it looks like to be in an interview and knowing which questions folks can ask you. They can't ask you certain things around your identity. Being able to figure out how do you disclose your pronouns when you're navigating that. And so we're partnering them with mentors that are already kind of, for the most part, established in our identities, as well as making sure that the workforce partners that we kind of support our young people with getting connected to are affirming. So the other part of that is that it's a DEI initiative. We are providing SOGI training, which is sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression training to all of our community partners that are looking to have diverse talent. We're also making sure that we're doing some exploration around their policies and procedures around hiring practices. So for example, do you have a space where young people can put their preferred name and pronouns before we even get to the interview stage? As we know, oftentimes when you're getting a job or something like that, folks will call you and say, hey, can I speak to so-and-so, right? If you don't have that person's pronouns, before we even get to the interview stage, you've already misgendered them. You've already used the wrong name that they don't want. So we're making sure that we're supporting employers that are looking to have diverse talent and to really transform some of their practices on even things in the baseline. We're providing things like an affirming workplace assessment where we can take a look at, do you have ungendered bathrooms where anyone can go depending on how they're identified, that doesn't force them to say you must go to the women's bathroom or the men's bathroom? Do you have practices in place that are going to support your employees if something does come up around discrimination? So different things like that. So we're doing a lot of work with our community partners while we're developing our young people to enter this new work, and be able to recognize that they are worthy of support, they're worthy of being affirmed in not only just the Ruth Ellis Center, but outside in the external world as well. So many things.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that, because people can learn. Again, I wanted people to learn about how they can get involved, and especially learn what all the great work you're doing. That work is so important. It doesn't even make sense. It's crazy how much you all are making an impact in Detroit, really. And I hope other organizations around the globe learn from you all. I mean, you all are just making an impact. So thank you for sharing that, Jay. Really appreciate you. We're going to move into these next few questions here. What did you all do this month? We talked about the ERGs. We talked about the BRGs. RGs, whatever kind of resource groups you want to call them. What did you all do this month to celebrate Pride? And was it a success? Was it impactful? Let's 1 to 2 minutes for each person because we are running out of time. Already been talking too much. So we'll start with Carla.
Yeah, sure. So we did the Juneteenth celebration in collaboration. So that was what we did due to some shifts that we're doing within our organization. Our Pride group, PRISM, decided that many of us queer folks, we're gay every day. And so June does not have to keep us in these 30, 31 days. And so we're having Pride in July. And so we have a number of activities. We're here in Hanover, Maryland, and so we have a very large campus here. So we have some tents. We're going to go out to the tent. Our community partner, Unmatched Athlete, they will be here with us doing telling us about their organization. They promote safe and training for young people to get into sports. So we know with all of the much controversy that's going on in the world with specifically our non-binary and trans siblings. So what Unmatched does is it creates this space for young people to come in and learn sports, and they're doing things that are sometimes outside of the cost for marginalized folks. So rock climbing and tennis and some of those things that golf can be seen elitist. The Unmatched is bringing that to queer young folks. So we are looking forward to doing that in the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic. Josh, what did you all do at AGS?
Well, actually, we had a big old celebration yesterday in our hubs, which are in Jacksonville, Troy, Michigan, and Phoenix, as well as in Hanover. And we had a virtual session as well, where we went over historical context of Stonewall riots, that the 54th anniversary, I believe, was yesterday, and went through pop culture, all the things that make us, and also provided an educational component of the acronym and how we got to where we are now, and what we can do as a company to move the needle forward. I was in the Jacksonville hub yesterday, and the amount of allies that we had there that were engaged and asking questions was way more than I anticipated. And this was even before we fed them. So we knew that they were excited about what they were doing. So that was the biggest thing we've done thus far with respect to Pride Month. Some initiatives earlier in the year, we really worked with our D&I partners on our self-ID campaign, but that is a company-wide initiative, but we are increasing the level of our voice in those conversations. So it's really awesome to see the traction that we've done, both something a little bit lighthearted and something that's going to have more of an impact for our employees moving forward.
That's great. That's great. Tammy, what did you all do for Pride Month?
Wow. There's a lot we always try to accomplish. We always fill our plate too full, but we had several successful events go. We tried to limit it to one main event per week of the month. I'll speak back to the table talks that I mentioned earlier in our conversation. We did have the intersectional collaboration, which with our Generations Business Resource Group and Pride. That one was probably one of my favorite. We usually have different table talks throughout the year with different business resource groups. We had one earlier in May for mental health awareness, as well as Military Appreciation Month in May. We had that table talk, but then we had one with Generations and Pride in Pride Month. The one in Pride Month was really poignant for me because I was lucky enough to be selected for an internal article about my story, my coming out, my involvement with Pride and so forth. But one of the things that came out of that table talk is not only creating an environment of inclusivity and just letting everyone know that it's a safe space, and that, you know, because we don't have anyone recording, we don't have anyone in there, you know, moderating really what people can say. Obviously, they're moderators to watch for unsavory behavior, but that's very, very, very rare. But one of the things that came out of that table talk was a colleague, I'll say, I do not know this employee. I don't know where they're at. All I know is their name. They reached out to me after the fact and just one-on-one came out to me. And they are, I would say they're probably in their 50s. They identify as a cisgender male and have been in a relationship with a woman married with grown children. And he said he's never told a living soul. And the fact that I was able to garner his trust in just an hour table talk just means so much. And it reminds me of why we're doing this and what we're doing these discussions for. Because he's like, I'm happy in my life. I don't think I'll ever act on any of these desires. If I were to put a label on, which, labels, but his description sounded like someone who would be pansexual, but he's very happy in his marriage with his wife and his kids. And I said, as long as you're happy, I said, I'm here as a support and sounding board for you. The other main event, though, that we had, and want to move quick because I know we're on time, stay on time. Our main event was our 4th annual drag bingo event. We have a performer by the name of Brittany Lynn from Philadelphia. I think she calls her group the Drag Mafia. And she comes and does bingo with us. And we actually had that yesterday as our main event. And I think we had our largest attendance. We had almost 500 registrants for the event, and it's always a blast. We have so much fun. We laugh the entire time. And the way that we give back during the session is the winners that get bingo, we put dollars in their nonprofit charity donation bank so that they can use those donation dollars to give to the community or the program or entity that they so choose. So just a lot of great things going on for Pride, and just kind of sad that it's ending, because here in Jacksonville, our actual Pride event's not until October externally, trying to avoid the heat and the crazy humidity of the summer. But we have that to look forward to. So we kind of have 2 Prides, but that's what we did for June for Prudential.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you sharing. I mean, that's a lot of impactful things that you spoke about, especially about the article. So appreciate you sharing. Jay Stevenson, I'm going to kick it over to you real quick. What did the Ruth Ellis Center do? I am so curious to know. I know y'all did something.
Oh, we've done a lot, actually. So Pride for us is all year round. However, specifically in June, we made sure that we were present at over 20 Pride related events and fundraisers. So something that's really important to us is getting the word out about the work that we do. So folks, whether you're an ally, whether you're a young person, whether you're a family member that's looking to support someone that's in your family who identifies as LGBTQ, that you're understanding the services and the resources that we're offering. We also hosted our 4th annual Cat Fight for the Crown, which basically is our drag competition where multiple folks within the community come out and do a whole performance. It's kind of like if you would consider a pageant mixed with a ball, mixed with a lot of different things specific to the LGBTQ identity and how we celebrate and show up as our full selves. And someone gets crowned as the winner. And we were able to have our young people come out in Vogue, as well as did some honoring of some of the LGBTQ folks that we've lost, specifically women in the trans community, specifically in the Highland Park, Detroit area. So we honored them with the visual as well this June, just to say that we're continuing to do this work with you all. We're continuing to uplift your names and recognizing that there's a lot of work to be done in our community in protecting LGBTQ folks, specifically those that identify as trans. And then of course we launched our program, right? So we've been working with community members to make sure that they're trained around SOGI. We've been working with folks to make sure that they're able to recognize their implicit bias, and also making sure that our young people are connecting to things like we hosted a variety of LGBTQ career panels so they can start to kind of see themselves in some of the mentors that they've been working with. So we've done a lot of things that are around our work. We also had the opportunity to honor our staff. So staff members were able to get awards based on the work that they've been doing. So pride for us is not anything necessarily, are not our daily things. However, we do a couple of extra things just to make sure that our young people know that they're supported, and to highlight some of the major issues that are happening within the community as well. We also hosted yesterday our community resource fair, where we had affirming providers come out, as well as colleges and various job opportunities, folks that are doing the work to uplift LGBTQ folks. And our young people were able to engage with those different providers at the community resource fair. So again, nothing that we haven't been doing, but just a little bit more amped up.
Oh man, so amazing, so amazing. Yeah, we connecting after this, because I need all parts of what y'all doing, and I'm right here in Detroit too. Yes,
Chris, I was out looking up plane tickets. I'm like, how can I get to Michigan?
Okay. Like, I need all parts, because our young people need it.
Yes.
So thank you for all the continued work that you do. Okay, Michael, real quick. I'm sorry, I'm just.
I can be real quick. Don't worry, Siware. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Similar to what everybody else has said, right? Pride's not just a month. We're working on some bigger ticket things like leadership development. We're continuing to build our allyship network. But this month we did 10 Pride in DC, which was a lot of fun. We also did a color week that we coordinated with the other A's, Aston Carter and Aerotech as well, which was awesome. But what I'm most proud of is that we solidified our relationship with OSTEM. Actilent is a company that works in engineering and sciences, and OSTEM is an organization which is out in science, technology, engineering, and math. So that's something that I'm really excited about and ready to keep building, internally in Actilent, but also outwardly with the community.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna stay on you, Michael. I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, given your current circumstances in life, what advice would you give your younger self?
This is a tough question. Like immediately I think of 1,000 different things, but at the same time, my mind is blank. Growing up, there was always a lot of cognitive dissonance for me between being a flamboyant gay male and being a professional. I thought that those two things couldn't overlap. I could either be my incredibly blatantly gay self, or I could be a professional with a career climbing the career ladder. And that was how I started. When I started working, I was trying to imitate all the people around me who were straight, cisgender people, and I was trying to just be exactly like them. After about a year of doing that, I started to get more comfortable in my position and start letting my personality out a little bit more in everything I was doing. And what happened is things got better. My clients started to remember me better. My colleagues trusted me more, and I was making better relations. And arguably, most importantly, I was more proud of myself for who I was bringing to work every day. And it created this beautiful feedback where the more I let out about my personality, the more successful I became. And the more successful I became, the more comfortable I was to let out more of my personality.
Love it.
So to summarize, if there was something I could tell, my younger self, it'd be that the world is really big. There's so many different possibilities of who you can be, but it's always going to be your job to carve out what that is. Nobody else is going to decide who you can be for you. The more that you can tap into the true essence of yourself, the more success and happiness you'll create for yourself. So I think that's what I tell myself, Chris.
I love that. Let me tell you something. A part of my journey with coming out and being in the workforce was that I had to get comfortable and confident with myself. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that that's when the success started to come in my life. It's because I became more confident. I stopped with the hiding in the closet and stopped trying to pretend to be somebody that I wasn't. Now I'm out loud and proud, and y'all can't shut me up. So and that's just what they're gonna get. So period. I appreciate you period. Okay. I appreciate you sharing that for real. So
thanks, Chris.
Yes, JB, I'm kicking it over to you. Same question.
Same question. Okay. Well, I want, for one, Michael could take the words out of my mouth. Like, if I think every person on this panel, if we go back to our younger selves, we'd be like, do the damn thing. Like, do it when you want to do it, right? I've lived a wildly different life than a lot of people. I was in gender therapy at 11. I never, like, I knew who I was. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you are not supposed to look like this. You are not supposed to feel like this. But as a lot of people on this panel, it was a different age back then, right? So when your parents hear that you don't feel like how you look in the mirror, it scares them. And my parents were scared. So I was in gender therapy from 11 to 14. And now as a 27-year-old, when I'm out to cocktails with my insanely attractive partner, I think, if only 13-year-old JB could see you now, you know, you are living the life. So instead of like really advice, I would go back to my younger self and say, it all works out. You're going to end up being exactly who you want to be. And if you want to change tomorrow, you can. And guess what? If who you are at 27, you don't want to be at 29, you're going to live in a world to where you could be whoever you want to be. And the right people are going to stick and people are going to love you for it. And you're going to be insanely successful because of it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, JB. Carla, I'm going to ask you the same question.
Oh,
you know the theme here.
Right. So JB framing the therapy, mine was called church. And so, growing up in a very, very, very traditional thought, moral believing family, it was tough. And I shared this story on a panel Chris and I were on a couple of years ago. So my professional career, I still present this way, but I would cut my hair. Like, I wouldn't go into a job interview I would try to be as less male presenting, right? So my younger self, I would tell them, bet on yourself. The same words that, and the same tenets that were thrown at you, they still work for you, right? So don't get weary in well-doing. You are born this way. I got introduced to a ministry of Unity Fellowship Church movement with the Archbishop Carl Bean, who in the 60s, before Lady Gaga had it trending on TikTok, I Was Born This Way was performed by Archbishop Carl Bean. And I would remind them that it does get better. And I would remind me, it gets better, and to bet on yourself.
I love that. Bet on yourself always.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we got. Got a couple more minutes. I'm gonna ask one last question. You got 30 seconds to answer it, and then we gotta get to these question and answers. Is that a deal, everybody? Okay. How does your organization currently support members of the community? Where would you like to continue to see evolution in creating a sense of belonging? I know that's a loaded question, but Tommy, I'm gonna kick it off with you. 30 seconds, and we're gonna pass it to Carla, JB, Mandy, Michael, Jay Stevenson, and then Josh.
Oh, wow, 30 seconds. Okay, I was prepared for something else. Okay, wow. The things that we are doing to get involved in the communities all over the world, I couldn't cover in 30 seconds. But what I'm most excited about is that we continue to grow not only our corporate footprint, but our community engagement footprint. We support and we have so many different entities internally that focus on nothing but community outreach. We sponsor so many events across the globe, including the Out and Equal Summits, the Human Rights Campaign, and there are so many different nonprofits that we support. They're kind of predetermined. So we're trying to increase our footprint in all of our communities. There are so many of them. But as a larger company, and we want to make sure we have the most impact as possible in the best way possible. And just making sure that we have a zero tolerance policy internally that if you're not diverse, inclusive, respectful, professional, there's zero tolerance. If you make some type of slur or comment, there's going to be a conversation with you. So the fact that our company has a zero tolerance policy on anything like that is just amazing. We started with domestic partner benefits back in '96 when I was hired, and that's one of the reasons that I came on board. So we continue to grow and help where we can.
Cool. Thank you, Carla.
We're at the table. They see us, right? Someone on here talked about the self-ID campaign that was birthed out of AGS. And so the beautiful thing that I love about Allegiance Group is that, you know, the cousin across the street, Actilin, and then the brother down the street, Tech Systems, all of our DEI and CSR directors collaborate, and we figure out how we can maximize our presence across all of our operating companies. So we are here. Where would I like to continue seeing us creating a sense of belonging? Continue to be here. So under the AG umbrella, all of us will continue to be here to create space for those who will come in the door behind us.
Yeah. Okay, JB, go.
I got it. Just like under the Allegiance umbrella, I mimic everything Carla just said. Lucky for Aston Carter, our executive staff are our largest allies. So nothing is crazy to them. Any idea we put forth, anything, any support we need, our executive staff, our president supports us in everything. Where do I see us growing? This thing is going to blow up. We're 2 years in, have had some of the best events we've ever had. Our community is growing every day. We've grown about 25% this year already. We're going to blow up. I'm super excited for more people to know about DGS and Aston Carter.
Mandy.
Again, as part of Allegiance, I would echo what everybody else has already shared. I think for Spectrum specifically, my personal desire would be able to see more and more members of the LGBTQ plus community getting involved, hearing their voices, brainstorming, getting creative, because there are so many of us that are virtual, to find ways to connect. I think that the intersectionality conversation is really important. I think that policy still has ways to go, although I will say I'm very grateful that this company does already have some progressive policy in place. But there's always, you know, more to grow and evolve and change. And so just continuing to push those conversations, get continued visible buy-in from leadership, which we already do have some, but continuing to grow that visible support, and then creating as many creative, safe spaces that are both tending to the real issues. You know, we have a hub in Florida. Those needs are very different than my needs as a remote person in Peoria, Illinois, which is shockingly progressive for being in the middle of the country. So just continuing to see ways that we can support each other in our individual, group, and then collective needs.
Very good. Michael.
Love it. One thing I'm most proud of that we do to support our employees is we have a very comprehensive educational platform available to all employees that's included in their onboarding, including things about how to hide your identity at work if you're not ready to come out, how to come out when you are ready. If you have allies at work, this educational platform is available to all Actilent employees from day one. So it talks about how to deal if somebody else comes out to you at work, which I think is incredible. Some places where I'd like to see growth and continue prospering for the Pride community at Actilent is growing, similar to what Mandy was saying, growing our footprint, growing our ERG. We're only at about 60 employees right now. I'd love to as well see executive level leadership who are out and proud about it. I love to see those numbers grow and continue to grow. I think Pride is like, building a pyramid. Everybody needs to help out, from the Cleopatras to the newest recruits. So I want everybody included in it.
Okay, getting through this. Jay Stevenson.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it quick. I'm just gonna read our mission and vision. It's 2 sentences because that is what we're gonna continue to do. It is our mission to create opportunities with, not just for, but with LGBTQ young people to build a vision for their positive future. It is our vision to see a world where LGBTQ young people are safe, supported, no matter where they go. So we're making sure that we're partnering with affirming folks who want to uplift the identities of LGBTQ folks, as well as making sure that the resources that we offer and the opportunities that we connect our young people to are safe.
Love it. Okay. I got one question that came in. Do we got time to? Yeah, we're just gonna run it. Okay, so this question is for Tommy. They wanted to hear, given your current circumstances in life, what advice would you give your younger self?
That's really awesome. I appreciate you coming back to me for that question, because I think it's one of the biggest things that we can do as a community for ourselves is just building that self-awareness and revisiting that. We've talked about mental health and mental health awareness and working on ourselves and being proud of who we are and getting to that point. For me, it's taken a lot longer to get to that point. And one of the biggest things that I would remind myself, my younger self of, is to be patient and it gets better. Having gone through a lot of trauma and abuse in my childhood, it's taken a lot for me to get to a place where I feel safe. So just knowing that I can remind myself that, I'm safe, I'm strong, I'm a great person, and that I'm deserving of love, just like the love that I give to others. So just reminding ourselves that we're valid, that we're seen, and making sure that each other feels the same way and that we all feel supported.
Appreciate you sharing that. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much to everybody. You all did a fantastic job today. And it has been my absolute honor and privilege. Like, it's been a privilege to be the moderator today with you all. You all are some very impactful humans. I appreciate from the bottom of my heart the type of work that you all are doing in your respective communities and your pockets and areas that you are in life, because it's people like you that are going to help move the needle forward, that are going to continue to make impacts on more than just yourselves and your family and your friends and everybody that's around you. You can tell that you all are, each of you are a light, and you're a joy to be around, and people need to continue to learn. And I hope you continue to bring people in, and I hope people on this call continue to lean in. So thank you for today. This has been amazing. I'm so excited to have been able to do this. So I'm going to pass it over to Amanda, and thank you again for having this.
Yes, this was an absolute amazing conversation. I mirror the sentiments that Chris shared. Thank you so much for opening your perspectives individually with your own personal experiences, being members of the community, as well as representatives from your organization. There were so many people that did put chats in. Some of them weren't for everyone, though. One of them being, I'm obsessed with all this. Oh my goodness, I'm so many possibilities to bring back to the team, as well as someone saying, I want to be friends with all of these amazing panelists. I'm so inspired. Thank you so much, you beautiful stars. And I think it just kind of goes back, even what Tommy said, it really touched me. Like, we are all deserving of love. No matter who you love or how you love, we are all deserving of love. And to be able to have people, and I hate saying this sometimes because it makes me feel, I don't know if it's, condescending or not, but it's like to give the permission for someone else to be themselves just by speaking my own individual truths. Holy moly. Thank you all for speaking your truths today, because impacts are being made and they'll continue to be made for individuals who come across this conversation. We truly hope that you learned something and pulled some best practices or things that you can do on your own, maybe encourage you to disclose in some form or fashion with your diverse identities or your diverse abilities. Please check out gettinghired.com and you can see what we're trying to do to disrupt the way that we hire and acquire a talent, especially for those that are underserved in the workforce. Also, please check out the Ruth Ellis Center. I don't know if you heard everything that Jay was talking about, but they have so much going on to truly make the impacts that are needed right now in society and continually, because diversity and the word will continue to evolve over time. So thank you all for joining us today, and we look forward to our next In Action series.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.